I really expect a UConn-Auburn game for the right to go to the Elite Eight.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
The East region here. UConn gets the number 1 overall seed. They're laying 26.5 against Stetson. Stetson, that was a great tournament, and they took it down. Every game was dramatic, I thought. But UConn, clearly the number 1 team in the country. VSiN.com trends angles here from Steve Makinen. Number 1 seeds have flexed their muscles defensively over the last 6 tournaments, going 12-4 under the total, 75%, while holding opponents to 60 points per game. And with this big number in mind here of 26.5, Ken Pom has them winning by 23, and he has it an 86-63 game for what it's worth.
All right, they're dancing for the first time ever. Congrats to the Hatters, and I think Stetson first half is the way to go. UConn, remember, they were trailing last year at halftime against Iona. So I think Stetson first half is a good play here. Now, the thing about UConn is they come out and they bury you in the second half. But that is now a pattern where UConn goes through the motion. I mean, look at the Xavier game. I mean, they're down 10-0 out of the gates.
Sure.
So they got it humming right now. Hurley's the man, great program, but for whatever reason, they get off to slow starts. So Stetson first half for me.
So this is how good the region is, and I'm looking around at several books, by the way. Keep that in mind. Yesterday afternoon before the selection show. And to make the Final Four, Connecticut was between even money, but most spots had -110, -115, -120. And since they have the bracket of death, they are now in most spots +110 or +120 I saw last night.
I fully anticipate
30
them.
cents.
Yep, so I really expect a UConn-Auburn game for the right to go to the Elite Eight. But keep in mind, that'll be in Boston, though.
Yep.
So that's the thing about UConn. You're playing Brooklyn, and then you play in Boston. So, and they travel well, as Patino was asked about. I mean, Connecticut fans are all over the place, and they have a great following. So, but I really expect Auburn to pound San Diego State in that second round game.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic gets Northwestern. That's the 8-9 matchup. And Florida Atlantic, I want nothing to do with this team.
I love them. I think you'll see their A game now, and they'll take out Northwestern. And people have been ripping them the last couple days. I don't know what happened when we got into conference play. Slow start after slow start. It seemed so many times they were trailing at halftime of teams they should have beat. But I think their A game will be there.
I don't know. It's a big ask, man.
You got,
they've been terrible for months now, and they're taking tons of steam in this game again. Northwestern's good.
I don't think so. I trust the team that went to the Final Four. And
I think Florida Atlantic is terrible this year.
Well,
you think they're good?
Yeah, absolutely. They have enough, yeah. I want to see the team that showed up in the non-conference is what I need. I don't know what happened once you got into conference play. But now I think once the bright lights are on now and everyone's watching, they'll be at their best. And so many times they disrespected their opponent.
Yeah, it's not a good conference
not going to happen
either.
now. It's not that bad.
I don't think they flip a switch. We disagree on this.
Yeah. I think you're way off on that one, but that's why we play the games. It'll be
if they win, can they give UConn a game?
Absolutely, they can. Yeah, they went to the Final Four and returned everybody. Absolutely, they can.
Now, in the 5-12 matchup, you mentioned there that San Diego State will get. Does San Diego State win this game?
Oh, here we go again.
It's a tough
right?
one.
That's why the Mountain West has been a horror show for 10 years now, right? And then everyone goes out early except San Diego State, and San Diego State goes to the title game, but San Diego State was down with 2 minutes against Charleston in the first round. We saw it time and time again in the Mountain West tournament. And that's why I was so shocked they made a deep run. Every game there's a 5-minute scoring drought. So you have to overcome that every game. And UAB getting hot at the right time. So I'm with you. It's too many points. They have some bigs down low. They play great defense. But I know I'm going to look up. It's like, well, here we go. They haven't made a shot for 6 minutes. Oh. So they're going to keep you in the game.
Now, UAB taking money, opened 7.5, down to 6.5 this morning. I think that was the very first game out of the gate that plenty of people were betting.
We disagree. I think it's a deep league. I think it's a pretty good league. But UAB also got hot at the right time. But I think it's too many points.
They did. So the winner there is going to get Auburn and Yale. Somehow Auburn's a 4 seed. I'm blown away.
It's outrageous. This is a crime. This is just. Anyways, I think Auburn buries them. Now I'm hesitant to play on teams that just won conference tournaments.
It's not an angle that I want to be.
Absolutely,
right.
I'm with you. But Yale had no business beating Brown. Now you're talking about a Brown team that was 12-17, and Yale was down 6 with 20 seconds left. So I think Auburn by 20.
They're awesome.
They are, and Yale was a lousy performance by Yale.
I don't get the disrespect here with Auburn. I really don't. And then I'm watching the game on Saturday with a couple of Brown grads, and they're like, "This is the biggest game we've had in 40 years."
Yeah.
And then Sunday going back and forth with text, they're just completely devastated. They're like, "That's probably the only time, maybe the only time in the next 5 years we even make this new Ivy League tournament." And just, to be in that spot and blow the game, it's just crushing to them.
You were a 10-point dog against Princeton. They led by 20.
Sure.
Everything went in. And then you blow it with a choke job against Yale.
Yeah. Another matchup here, BYU out of the Big 12 gets Duquesne in the 6-11. Boy, oh boy. BYU's an 8 total is 142. How is this going to work now with BYU playing neutral site games? They were fine in the Big 12 this year overall. I mean, they showed that they could play with some of those teams.
I don't know what to do with Duquesne. That's a tough one. Congratulations, you're dancing for the first time since 1977.
Yeah.
But another team that just unprecedented, right? 5 bid thieves. Here's one of them. So another team that got hot at the right time and was fortunate to win their conference tournament. Certainly the Atlantic 10 was had a down year. So you're right. Again, BYU can go out right away or go to the Elite 8. Depends how they're shooting.
Boy, if we get... That's the 6-11. If BYU wins and Illinois beats Morehead State.
Oh, now we're talking. Track meet.
The 3-6, what's that total?
Yes.
Because I will bet over 155. Well, easy.
I'll be right behind you, too. Yep. I think Illinois takes out Morehead. I don't think it's a very good Morehead team.
Laying 12
and again, a down league, which was decimated here by conference realignment, everyone moving around. So the Ohio Valley, not a good league anymore.
How about this matchup in the 7-10? Wazoo gets Drake.
I hate this matchup.
Oh, you're telling me both these teams could do damage.
I know. I love both teams here. I mean, I know I wasn't that high on Washington State in the Pac-12 tournament, but this is a great story with Nerd Ball and Kyle Smith. And look at Drake favored now. And it's a shame Indiana State isn't in, but you saw what happened last year. What were they up 8 with 2 minutes against, or 6 with 2 minutes against Miami? They blow the game, and Miami goes to the Final Four. So you got to love the Drake. But it's unfortunate, though. Again, this is a great matchup where I wanted both teams to make a deep run and win a game. So, but no opinion here. No opinion. It's a great game.
As soon as they pulled, showed that those two teams were playing each other, I'm like, are you serious with this?
Again, why? Get creative.
Yeah. And then Iowa State, the 2 seed here, they're plus 360 to win this region, laying 16 against South Dakota State.
That's a lot of points, though.
A huge number.
But again, down year for the Summit. And we're not the typical Jackrabbits in a great Summit league. So, but that's I'd be careful laying that because you're hot, right? You just ripped through. You're buying high on Iowa State. They took out Houston. The game was, they had 9 points late in the second half.
I know.
In that terrible.
The first bracket I filled out last night, I had Auburn go to the Final Four.
That's what I have too.